Hey everybody, Nevan again, back with another video. A little earlier than I expected. Um, Before we start this one, I wanted to give a little shout out to all of my fellow content creators. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into making these videos. It's a considerable amount of time to sit down and record them. So I just wanted to shout out that I think all of them are doing a good job. And if you enjoy the content, I think you should always try to drop a like on these videos. That way they at least know that they're engaging with the community, because I think at the end of the day, that's why we do it, right? We want to try to engage with the community in a healthy way, and maybe teach you guys something, entertain you, all that. So just a quick little shout out, it goes a long way. And I wanted to say I appreciate everybody who comments on my videos, especially the consistent commenters. I love the engagement. Keep it coming. Love you guys. So this game is against Maul. This is actually the losers bracket in the playoffs. I think this is like the top 8 or so in the losers bracket. Right. This is an interesting one. I won't give too much away, but it shows you the variety of War of the Ring, to say the least. It takes some twists and turns, and it's played a very specific way that you don't see often, but is a way that I think is healthy for both newer players and more experienced players to see, so they can kind of add it to their tool belt, so to speak. So I believe I was the higher seed here. Yeah, and I bid 2 tokens for Shadow, and they accepted immediately, which surprised me, because again, these are playoffs, so these are I'm not gonna say the best players in the world, but these are higher tier players. They're either at the top of their individual kind of league, or yeah, that's all it is. So yeah, I'm so far in these playoffs, for the league, I don't think I've ever gone above 3 tokens, which I'm shocked. Whenever I could bid, I was always just like 2 tokens, and then they always accepted it. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, anyway, so I'm Shadow. They drew Red Arrow. I will go alone, and I got King is revealed, probably the worst card, and Orc Patrol, which is okay. So I allocate 1 eye. I roll 3 more, and then they roll the perfect roll, like the perfect roll to counter my 3 eyes. Not looking good for the old Sauron. And yeah, I rolled no musters, so not great. So they start with the elves. Makes sense. I move Mordor, Southrons. They muster the elves again. I draw a card because naturally none of my cards are playable. And I draw another unplayable card. Mustering's a long planned war. They move the Fellowship once. I do get a hit on the very last one, and I do get a 1 reveal. So, right. So the big flaw of rolling all these eyes is the odds to hit are still very, very low. But in this instance, it actually did something for me. It was specifically that final 4th eye that got the hit. And it was a 1 reveal, which is the perfect thing that you want as Shadow. So yeah, they don't kill Gandalf. I think that's correct, considering I'm doing nothing this turn. Right, and then I pivot to Minas Morgul and Lorien. Right, so in a game like this where I rolled 0 musters, I didn't even really roll anything, to be honest. The Northeast is just not happening. They have another muster die, and they have a token. So the elves can just be at war. So by the time I get up there, there could be freaking 4 elites staring at me. No thank you, no bueno. Gondor is going to be the way. And then they muster the elves to war. So turn 1, the elves are at war. No Shadow Nations are at war. Not great. Okay, so I get Lord of the Ring and Alokai. They get Ents and Thranduil. Thranduil, not really specifically needed, but you won't complain about it. They make Strider the guide. Right. Yeah, I allocated 1 eye. I rolled 2 more again, and then they rolled pure military. So it's a good thing they made Strider the guide. But this pure military roll, normally a bad thing, but I rolled 3 eyes total. and they have a nation at war. So it basically, the lead that they got, they can kind of just reinforce it in a way. They could just really make me feel it. So they hide. I bring Sauron to war. So interestingly, I skip out on Saruman and go for Sauron instead. So they put an elite in Lorien. Right, so here's the kind of game this is. So yeah, I'm already committed. You might think, that was weird, why'd he muster Sauron to war? So I implore everyone who plays this game to broaden your mindset, because so many people just auto default to sprinting and or military rush. They're basically the same thing in a way. It's not always your fault. I'm not gonna sit here and demonize people that do that. It's not always your fault. I just played a game recently against an opponent that I always have fun with. I believe it was GJB, and they just rolled 4 characters every turn. It's like, well, what are you gonna do? It's not like I'm gonna be able to do politics and muster armies when I just physically cannot do that. However, taking those kinds of games out of account, like a regular game, I would say always just kind of look at the situation and change your strategy accordingly. This is why typically it's not a good idea to, from the very start of the game, to allocate 2 eyes and just hard commit to corruption, because sometimes that just isn't gonna work. You gotta kind of adapt. So here I am full on adapting with the elves at war turn 1 and them rolling 4 musters. They have a political token, so they can get 2 other nations 1 away from war. Like, it's looking really terrible for me. I don't think it's possible military victory is going to happen before before they destroy the ring. So I'm kind of looping into a more corruption strategy. And the best way to do this efficiently right now, when I don't have any dice to play character cards, so that's off the table. If they're going to go as Frodo moves, the biggest counter to corruption strategies when shadow military is just non-existent, is to hide in strongholds. So if I can just go for Lorien and at the very least get it under siege and just slowly crack at it, that takes away one of their strongholds. And the other one is obviously Minas Tirith. So those are my 2 goals right now. That's why Sauron is at war. And I do move that Isengard regular up to Holland because he doesn't have any movement. I'm going to take advantage of that and try to get that Uruk-hai on them. So I put another elite in Lorien, which is correct. So, right, I consolidate Mordor a little more into Gorgoroth, and then, yeah, I do put that Uruk-hai into the Fords of Brennan, which probably never seen that before. So in any other game, attacking Lorien would be suicide. You just don't do it. You probably pivot to Rivendell, and then you go to the Dew Line, because now they only have 2 more elites to muster. And also Dol Amroth, and you start fishing for Corsairs because Dol Amroth's a sitting duck now. They muster Gondor. I bring in the Black Captain. Oh, that's another thing too. I also still get a minion. So the idea was, if he didn't muster a second elite in there, which was possible because maybe they wanted to burn a ring to move, maybe, I put Lorien under siege when it's got just 3 elites in it. But I just had to make sure that I got the Black Captain last, because if I did it earlier, he'd have that information and could just muster like Gondor straight to war. So I get on they went, and Orcs multiplying again. I'm very happy to get a red tile, what I need for sure. They get Mithril Coat and Riders of Theoden, so they have some very good cards. That is a hand right there. Okay, they switch back to Gandalf. I allocate just 1 eye, roll no more, and then they only roll 1 movement. So you might be thinking, if you're going corruption, why are you not allocating eyes? Well, I don't think allocating eyes is really a good means to do corruption. I think there's more value in having more dice to play with and cycling character cards than there is to just hope that that one extra die that is actually not doing anything for you manages to roll a 1 in 6 result. So I'm trying to think mathematically about it, but this is a pretty good roll for them. I mean, you'd want more movements against One Eye, but they get a bunch of Palantirs when Gandalf's the guide. So they play Riders, get Guards, which is very relevant. Alright, I start with Orc Patrol. So they don't have a will. Technically, they could Mirror of Galadriel me, but I need to just do damage. Right? They have one character, I have One Eye. If I manage to reveal them, that's very painful. I only get a 1, though. So they just take 1 Corruption again. Gandalf is still alive, which is correct. You don't want to lose Gandalf to a 1 if your opponent's going Corruption. Again, do not autopilot, even as free people. Look at the situation. That is a terrible idea. I play a Loghai into Dimrildale. So my opponent is probably thinking there's no way in hell he's going to attack Lorien. Like, no way. Okay, I start moving to Minas Tirith, and then I get Umbar ready. I get Nirn into Gorgoroth, move the Easterlings. I'm just kind of doing all these base movements that I know I want to do eventually. They play Guards, draw into Daylight. Yeah, and here I probably surprised the hell out of my opponent. I attack Lorien. So this is what, 9 health. They have 9 health, I have 9 health. It is an even fight. Yeah, you should never do this. So they move. They're obviously safe. I play a red tile. They play red arrow, so yeah, Rohan's looking very good. Right. And here I play... I do something interesting here. So I move Nazgul. Because they can declare to Holland now that Uruk-hai is not getting a reroll. And then I put 1 in Dimrildale. So you might be thinking, why wouldn't you put 1 in the High Pass? And the reason for that is I wanted them to go to the High Pass. Like 100%. This whole thing I'm doing in Lorien and eventually Minas Tirith can be avoided if I make them go the longer route. Not only is it 1 step longer, they don't have a good place to heal, which is perfect. So I'm actually kind of baiting them into declaring to the High Pass just to avoid a reroll. Okay, turn 4. I drew a Sealdore's Bane, and they got Deadmen, and I got Hill Trolls, and they got Kieran Ships. Which is certainly playable, but they're not going to, I would imagine. Okay, I allocate 1 eye, and look at that. They went High Pass. So, I brought it up in the past. I'll bring it up again here because I think it's very relevant. I don't like High Pass. I think High Pass is always wrong. This is a hot take, very personal opinion. I think in Lords there's value to it because the Balrog is very bad. Because not only is he going to hurt you when you pass him, he can just follow you and just hurt you more. In base game, I don't think the High Pass is ever worth it. Because that 1 eye I rolled last turn, and they got that safe movement, that didn't happen. Like, technically, by declaring into the High Pass, that movement they made never happened. They have to make a whole extra move to get to Mordor, and that's more time for me to get cards. So here's the kind of game we're playing. Allocate 1 eye. I allocate 2 eyes. I roll no more, and then they get a crap ton of movement, and I got this roll 4 Palantirs, 2 characters. I mean, it's not the roll I want because I need to apply military pressure. You can't just ignore military because then they move once per turn, get all the blues in, right. So they start off by moving, I miss. I burn another character to readjust my Nazgul because they rolled 3 characters. I think that's, again, you might think it's crazy to just move Nazgul for rerolls, but if they roll 3 characters and there's 2 eyes in the pool, I think it's a good idea. I draw another character card. I could play Isildur's, but an eye hasn't been drawn yet. Yeah, 4 out of 14. So 2 out of 7 to draw an eye. Pretty low odds still, but those odds don't matter in Java land. They pass. I attack Lorien, so I am not trying to take Lorien right now. Right, I think this is it. I drew a character card because I want a Isildur's Bane and I want Lord of the Ring. I want to actually play those. So the idea is draw another character card. If it's a usable one, great. If it's not, I can cycle it in Lorien because the Witch King's already there. He's ready to rock. So they play charge, very effective charge. I play Foul Stench. 2 hits. I roll 1. They roll 3. So what was that? 10 dice. 10 dice, they rolled 5 hits. Yeah, not great. Not what I wanted to see. And then I draw a Foul Thing from the deep, so at least that's relevant. So, so here they attack Lorien. So it's a tall order to kill the Witch King right here. But they see my action dice and they know I don't have a character, so I can't actually make him run away. I'm kind of just stuck unless I have one of the movement cards. And their cards are pretty good. They got a Valor, Sudden Strike, Daylight, lots of great things. So they actually sortie out of Lorien because they just hit so hard in that first attack. They play Valor, so they're hitting all in 4s. Thankfully, they flub that roll, so they only get 1 hit, and then I get 3 hits back. So that's the downside to doing plays like that as free people. But hey, it's still 3, my 3 against their 5 health. They're only rolling 4 dice. I'm rolling 6, but I have to take into account cards. Yeah, this is why the card Dread and Despair is so strong. Because if I had Dread and Despair right now, this would be very bad for free people. They'd basically be giving me a free stronghold, assuming I roll decent. But they press, and I get out of there. Because, again, I'm not here to actually win the siege. I'm here to just cycle cards. I'm here to have a good time. And they are not having it in the tree land. I play a Isildur's Bane. I get a 2 reveal, which is great. Yeah, so that's perfect. Because it's a Isildur's, so he can't kill Gandalf to that too. And then they get revealed. Awkwardly, they kind of got in between my Nazgul there, but I play Orcs Multiplying. Yeah, I don't really have any other. I mean, I could have played Hill Trolls and Dimrildale. Maybe I should have done that. Yeah, I probably should have done that. Just to protect them. Because, you know, they still are rolling 5 dice. You know, 6 if they play Sudden Strike. They could muster, burn a ring to muster. I mean, there's a lot of things they could do. Yeah, they're going to play a token to draw a strategy card, and then they could burn a ring on that character after I use this next die to get another elite in there. Then it's pretty likely I might die. Not great. Told you this was going to be an interesting one. So they draw a strategy card. It's Emerhill. Good card for them, for sure. And then I play Foul Thing. I'm committed here. And I get a 3. So my tile draws were extremely lucky. No eyes were pulled. Granted, statistically, the odds of pulling an eye were low. But that, again, doesn't matter. This is Java. But, yeah. Foul Thing, 3. Pull a random, and it's a Hobbit. So I get maximum corruption value for that. Perfect. Yeah, getting Gandalf on that random would have been really bad for me. Yeah, and Pippin doesn't get to go anywhere relevant because they weren't moved. So they attacked Dimrildale. Like Frodo is at 6 corruption right now. He technically is only taken 2 steps because they went high pass. So yeah, Frodo's getting hit hard. So they don't play a card in Dimrildale. They only get 1 hit. About expected. I get 2 hits. Above average for sure. So they press. You know, there's value potentially for me staying here. Right, 2 against 3. They're rolling 4 dice. I'm rolling 4 dice. But I think because of the kind of game it is, losing the Witch King would be pretty stupid. It's going to definitely pay off for my opponent. So I actually retreat. Yep, I retreat. Was at North Anduin Vale. There goes the Witch King. He's running. Tail between his legs. Alright. Turn 5. This is a very long game, by the way. But it's not like the Warriors one where we're going to be here a while. I think the turns will go by pretty quick. especially towards the end. So I get Flux of Kerbane, Monsters Roused. Flux of Kerbane, not happy to see that, but something I can cycle. They get another Ent card and King Brandsman. Strategy cards have been on point. I don't think they've had any flubs in their strategy deck so far. Alrighty. I think they got rid of an Ent. I may be wrong though. Yeah, they really don't need Ents because of just that giant Edoras Force. I think Rohan's going to be just fine. Especially, I don't have Saruman. It is turn 5, and I don't have Saruman. Isengard's not even at war. That's how bad my rolls have been. But I allocate one. I get a normal roll finally. And they get another roll that in a sprint rush game would be terrible for them, but this is not that. So it's actually pretty decent roll for them. They move right away. Yeah, because even though Gandalf's cycling ability could benefit you here, your hand's full and they're all good cards. I mean, I'm sure you could get rid of an Ent and be fine. Dead Men's probably not getting played. So, yeah, I mean, I probably would have just kept cycling. Just because, getting Emerhill or King Brand, just Emerhill on the table and getting a new card, which might be Dane or something like that. I think that's really nice, but that's just me. So I do miss, as expected. And then I move the Witch King and Dol Guldur towards the northeast. Now he plays King Brands, gets Fearfire Foes and Power 2 Great. Gets rid of Fearfire Foes. Just kind of surprising, because that's a Shield Wall, isn't it? I think I would have kept the Shield Wall over Sudden Strike, but that's me. I move in the Old Forest Road, and then, I do get the Gundabad Force moving. So it's not the biggest army. But I saw they played Thranduils. I know if I put them under siege right now, they can't actually put a second elite in there. And they're not going to take that field battle 5 against 5 when I'm rolling 9 dice. So the reason why I actually retreated like that, because I could have retreated in the Moria and then maybe mustered once, played Hill Trolls, came back for round 2 for Lorien. The reason I went this route, running across Middle Earth like a baby, is because Frodo's in the northeast. So with how high his corruption is, it's actually, and how terrible my military is, like what's even happening militarily, going in the Woodland Realm is actually not a bad move. So I'm thinking I need to take Woodland Realm out now, because this is their only option. That's the big downside to the North route. They have no other places they can heal. I take out Woodland Realm, I'm in the clear. I can just keep hurting Frodo. And then, as lame as it sounds, turtle up. As long as I defend my strongholds defensively against his ridiculous military, he has to try to destroy the ring eventually. Eventually, if my strongholds are defended, I just kill all of his units. He has nobody to muster, and I walk into empty strongholds. Nobody wants to play a game like that. 25-turn game. So realistically, he has to keep moving Frodo. I think they know this. But yeah, healing corruption in Woodland Realm would be beneficial to them. So I play Hill Trolls now. So it's 5 against my 7. But those 4 orcs are coming. They play Power 2 Great. Why not? I mean, I'd probably play... I guess the Southrons are so far away, it's not really a big thing to play Emerhill. But look at their strategy cards. Like, Gandalf's got great efficiency here. It's pretty rare to get that much efficiency when you're only rolling 4 dice, but sometimes the game lets you. Finally get Isengard, or get Saruman in, and then I draw another character card. So they have a token, because I think they bring it up. They say, remember, I could have used tokens. I remember, I used a die, I waited, there's really no value to doing it in the middle of my dice. I don't know why you would. You'd probably just use it at the end of the Shadow's turn. That way I don't have that information, but technically, yeah, you are supposed to wait. Okay, so turn 6, They draw We Prove the Swifter, not very helpful. Swords and Eriador, and I get Balrog and Shadow is Moving. So Balrog I'm actually happy to see, because it means I don't have to, in theory, bring a giant army to Lorien to actually take it. If I have, like, when I eventually have to go for points. So I muster maybe 1 elite in Moria, maybe 2. I should be able to take Lorien with that. Preferably would rather just wait for shadows on the Misty Mountains. That's perfect. I think a 4-unit army with Balrog can take out 3 regulars in Lorien. Yep, I get rid of musterings. Not a great card. Desperate Battles, don't really need them. Not that kind of game. Gonna keep Flocks of Crebain for cycling. I allocate 2 eyes, and then I roll 2 more, and then they roll a very good roll. Definitely gonna try to kill Gandalf here. They move, they're missed. That hurts. Not great to see that with 4 eyes. Muster Southron's down. They burn a ring and move again, so I don't think it's that kind of game. The 5th die is very good. Let's not mince words here, but if your opponent's trying to kill Frodo, you're half health already, and there's 4 eyes in the pool and you've already moved. I think you just take the W, take that miss, and continue on with your life. But they go the standard, kill my Gandalf as soon as possible. I get 2 hits, so beautiful. I get 2 hits and I get an eye, so that's perfect. So yeah, Gandalf will die to that. Technically, if I rolled 1 hit, would he still kill Gandalf to a 1? Yeah, getting an eye there is great. Hunt pool is slowly decreasing. Like, the hunt pool itself, remember, I played 3 tile draw cards, and I got lucky with all of them. They didn't pull eyes, so I really only found them once. Yeah, so overall, my actual hunt luck isn't that great, because I've somewhat had rerolls on them. But the tile draw luck was very great. So they reveal into Old Forest Road. Now I play Lord of the Rings, so this is the perfect time to play it, because 1 Hobbit's missing. So there are 3 companions that gets me great value, just 2 corruptions, like Morgul Wound. I have the chance to get Strider. Probably will have to kill him, because you don't want to go up to 9 corruption when you're still, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps from Mordor. That's no bueno. And I draw. Who tries to steal it? Merry does. Unfortunate. So 1 and 5 to get Merry. That's actually very, very bad for me. Alright, that was a good gamble to take. Again, statistics do not matter, because now that Hobbit's going to be able to participate and be annoying. So they get Gandalf the White. I attack Karok from Gundabad. I do get a hit. They don't get a hit, so good for me. All right, they use their token to move the north to war, so I don't know why they did this, to be honest, because I'm just gonna attack Dale. It's 4, 5, 7 health against 3. It's a bigger force than it looks, I suppose, because they are rolling 5 dice. So, all right, let's see what happens. So I'm forced to attack Dale. Yeah, I do play strategy here because I was kind of expecting a Mithril Blade of Westerness, just because of how much they wanted me to attack the Hobbit. I kind of assumed something bad was gonna happen. So they play Daring Defiance, which is actually great for me. That's the perfect card to swarm a bat, because Daring Defiance goes off first. So all they did was cancel 1 leadership of their own and didn't actually accomplish anything. I roll 1 hit. It's fine. They rolled 2. Oh, that was bad. Okay, we made a little rules error. Yeah, we made a rules error there. They should have only rolled 1 reroll, because Daring Defiance goes off first. So they are canceling Mary's leadership to cancel my Swarm of Bats. So they should have only gotten 1 hit there. Okay, I press because I have to. Cannot let him muster up Dale. I get Great Host, which is a good one. Alright, so yeah, I play Words of Power here. Makes sense. So now instead of 4 dice, they're only rolling 3. They play Daylight. Surprised me. Now I flubbed this roll. Pretty unlucky to just not get a single hit. And then they get 2 hits. So yeah, somehow this Hobbit is putting up one hell of a fight. He was inspired by Bilbo and chose to defend the city of Dale unlike Bilbo did. Bilbo said that was dumb, but I guess this fight is way more valid for sure. So I have to press because here's my idea here. If I don't press, they get an elite in there, and then they can attack me next turn. So my situation's not going to get better if I stop the attack. As long as I can kill them and have 2 guys left, I can move the Witch King to Dale. They would have to sortie out of Woodland Realm, and then I can burn another die to just move the Witch King to get out of harm's way. I'd burn the ring and then move all Nazgul, so I get rerolls and then get the Witch King out of dodge. So as long as I can kill this stupid Hobbit, that will work. They do play Shield Wall though, which is nice. I do roll 2 hits this time, but it gets subtracted to 1, and then they get another hit. And remember, they're not rolling a lot of die here. They're really not. They're rolling like half of what I'm rolling. So I press again, same concept. As long as they don't get a hit on this and I manage to get 1, I'm in good shape here. I play Great Host because I'm getting desperate here. Sudden Strike, great Sudden Strike. They do whiff on it. I get my hit, and then they do get a hit on the combat. So this is the worst case scenario. So yeah, I say Christ almighty. That was a lot of dice I rolled with. Like, it was 3 guys. Like, how many dice did I roll? It had to have been like almost 20. Around 20 dice. And I couldn't get 3 hits. And on all those combats, except for the first one, I was hitting on 5s. Yeah, not great. They managed to get like 4 or 5, something like that. I think I was at, what, 2 elites, 3 regulars? So yeah, they got 6 hits. Yeah, while rolling less dice than me. Not great. Not great at all. Yeah, so that little rules error we made definitely made an impact, I'm thinking, because that was one die less I was rolling, and I wouldn't be in this situation right now. So I just take Dale. At least I have a city bonus. If I just stay in Woodland Realm, they hit me on 5s, so they are only rolling 4 dice. Hitting a 6 on 4 dice, that's not that high, honestly. I couldn't do it, so let's see if they can. They obviously attack Dale. They do play Valor, so that goes out the window. Now they hit on 5s. And they do roll a 5, so good play on them. You know, they didn't bank on the 6. They did play a card to help them, and it paid off. So the Witch King is slain in Dale on turn 6. Not good. All thanks to one little bobbit because of the 1 in 5 Lord of the Ring pool. Feels bad. So that's not good, is it? So I was on the board for a little bit. Now I'm back at 0 points. So it's a game. Right, so I move the Gundabad Orcs onto the Fellowship and get the Easterlings kind of in position because they're only 1 muster away. Yeah, I need to take care of Dale because the Elven Force pool's crap. But if I let them just muster Dale, the Woodland Realm is going to be free for them to heal in because they're still in a position where they can get the Woodland Realm without like wasting more than the expected dice. They hide, move once, they're good. Okay, so I drew. They did use like all their cards for that, and they could have played Mithril. They did have it. They could have played Blade of Westerness. Honestly, if I were them, I probably would have. Because I don't think on any planet would you expect a 3 health army to take out a, 7 health army with the Witch King and 4 Nazgul. But they took that gamble and it paid off. So I get Ring is Mine, Shadow Lengthen. So I'm about halfway through my character deck. So it's good to see another red. You know, the goal is to get them all in there. Shadow Lengthens is great as well. They get another Ent and Celeborns. So here's another thing. As Gandalf, as the free people, do you kind of in the beginning of the game cycle character cards instead? I don't know how many they had to cycle. I can't remember exactly every card they had. I know they had a lot of Ents, which makes things awkward. I don't know. Yeah, because they have no blues. They're still not far into their character deck at all. Yeah, Celeborn's is nice. Just for the card draw. Okay, allocate one eye, roll one more, and then they roll that. So I don't have Day Without Dawn, so that's a pretty good roll. But they can't know that. So they muster right away into Dale. I attack Dale from Old Forest Road because the Southrons aren't at war yet. So it's 4 against 3, and they're in a city. So it's about an even fight, but I am rolling 4 dice. They're rolling 2. So health-wise, they're in good shape. And then I roll 2 6s, and they don't roll a hit. So I'm back on the board. I got my city back. Whoopee. And then that orc stays on Frodo for a reroll. Yeah, because I have 2 eyes in the pool. Definitely going to move Nazgul here next. They muster another elite in Woodland Realm. I don't even think you need to do that, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, they got rid of I Will Go Alone. I was going to say maybe Crown Aragorn, but because speed's not the issue here. You want to try to get in the Woodland Realm. I mean, yeah, if you want to actually hide in Woodland Realm, I think you do muster that elite. That makes sense, if that's their plan. I muster the Southrons down because, again, same plan. I need to take Woodland Realm before they hide in it. Dale is not an option. It never really was, because the moment they would have tried to hide in Dale, I would just storm it with as many forces as I could. So they hide the Fellowship. I do move Nazgul now, so now I have 2 rerolls in Old Forest Road, which is great. And by the way, I only have 2 Nazgul left. So it's a little awkward. I would have loved... I had, like, my moves were forced. I had to take Dale when I did, but I would have loved to be able to muster 2 more before I did this, but what can you do? So I muster an elite in North Rune, because, again, this is the only stronghold I need right now. Okay. Huh. So they attack Old Forest Road here from Woodland Realm. Didn't expect that. What's the idea here? Just go for military? I mean, I have a ring. Like, you're basically giving me a stronghold for free, which, if there was a game to do it, I suppose it'd be this one, but I can really take my time and defend myself. Gondor's not even at war. Rohan's pretty beefy, for sure. So they could definitely get involved eventually. But the stronghold Rohan usually goes for is Dol Guldur. So, not sure. It's a plan. So they flub. They do not kill. Maybe they're just trying to kill the orcs so I don't get the rerolls on Frodo. That's certainly possible. And I do get a hit back. So, very unlucky for them. Very lucky for me here. So they press. Alright, I retreat the orc. Yep, so I still get my 1 reroll at least. I think the reason I could have just kept fighting, but I wanted to get in their way with a orc in case they wanted to go for military. That way I could move him in with an army next turn and then also muster. Because I have the luxury of setting the pace right now. Right, I burn a ring and then I get the Easterlings ready. They finally move. The Nazgul still gets a hit, which is great. So my work paid off. And we draw a 2. Yep, and then they random and then they get Strider. So I think randoming was the perfect decision. You know, there's the double-sided luck right there. They got lucky on the random pool with the Hobbit, got very unlucky with Strider. 25% chance for less than maximum efficiency, but you really don't want to eat 2s. There's still 2 3s in the pool. You really can't afford to be eating 2s on Frodo. So, lucky for me there. It's a game. And then I put Woodland Realm under siege. So, again, if they declare in there, there's at least going to be 2 rerolls on them. Turn 8, I get another red tile, and then Shadows on the Misty Mountains, which is what I was waiting for. And they get Mirror of Galadriel and Help Unlooked For. So, finally, a strategy card that does not really do anything for them. I got rid of Phlox of Crebain. Yeah, because cycling's not on the table anymore. Witch King's dead. So I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I'm just drawing cards now. And here they declare towards Mordor. I was so happy to see this. So now I was not very confident in this game at this point, but now I was like, here we go. What would you do personally if you were Free People? I mean, you see these Easterlings coming. You know, I'm doing this on purpose. I really need to take out Woodland Realm, just so it's not an option. That's what, when I get that other army into Woodland Realm, that is a perfect 8-2 army. So 12 health against your 6. It's probably gonna fall. You might get 2 turns of healing max, but then you got to move an extra time. Is those 2 turns of healing gonna be worth it? What do you think? I think you had to. I think your corruption is so bad you kind of just had to, but I allocate 2 eyes, roll 1 more, and then they roll good roll. They move immediately. They are safe. So again, the hunt rules are, I think they're like painfully average. I haven't found them a lot overall, but mostly I'm rolling on 6s, so that's fair. Right, so I do actually sacrifice one of my South rounds to jump on Frodo there, because I probably want to muster more Nazgul, and then when I move them to Woodland Realm, I can put another one on Frodo, or just start building up the little train. That's another downside to the north route, where I can build a train of Nazgul because I know exactly where you're going. So they reinforce Erebor and then get West Emnet ready. Fine. They burned a will for that. They burned a will for that. Would you burn a will for that? I don't know. Me personally, I probably would have drawn a character card, because I think I need to start looking for Bilbo's blue tiles, because the hunt pool is about average. We lost a good amount of tiles. Blue tiles have value in a game like this. He doesn't know at the time I have 2 red tiles in my hand. I play Shadows. I think I only did that because my hand's full. Yeah. I mustered the dwarves down. I'll do my Nazgul muster now. Alright, so if they plan to move again this turn, now would be the time to do it. But they decided to muster the dwarves again. Yep, so I opt to just not get the second reroll on their move this turn if they move again, and instead just confirm I get a reroll next turn. Makes sense. Again, if I had more Nazgul, I could be a bit more lenient, but I would rather have 4 in Woodland Realm for sure right now. And they don't move again, which is the correct call now. Like I said, I think they learned from their mistake in the past. Stop sprinting. You don't need to. I have 1 point. And then, yeah, I just play a red tile with the character then. So that way I don't overstack my hand, because all these cards I actually want. Desperate Battle will help me take Woodland Realm. I don't even need Woodland Realm, honestly, at this point. But, again, I would at least like to apply some kind of military pressure. That would be beneficial for sure. So that way they can't... I put it in Discord recently. I think maybe I didn't word it right. People were confused. But you can technically stay in Mordor for 10 turns. Without taking the auto Mordor corruption. That's what I said. I didn't say you couldn't move. Obviously you have to move. I'm saying you can stay in there 10 turns without taking the auto corruption. That's like the free, like no corruption. You don't get any benefit. You're just eating damage. Because, yeah, you can go in revealed and then hide. That's a whole turn where you can draw cards. And then move next turn. If Golem's the guide, hopefully reveal. And then draw more cards. And then hide the next turn. So, yeah, you can do that for 10 turns until you're forced to make the final step. Yeah, so just imagine that. If Shadow Military is just that bad, you can be in Mordor for 10 turns, moving once every other turn. But that's 10 cards you're drawing just from it being 10 turns, and not to mention all the cards you're drawing with Palantirs. So you want some pressure, preferably. Alright, I get Nazgul Strike and Shadows Gather. Great. They get Atlas, feels bad. And Wisdom of Elrond, so, yep. Maybe, just maybe, because the kind of game it was, maybe you don't random on that 2 because you hadn't drawn Atlas yet. Maybe. Because you should be getting 2 healing on that, so you basically counteract that, but you get to keep Strider, which is 3 health, so I don't know. So they declare, I allocate 1 eye, roll no more. So yeah, I think I'm past the point of trying to hunt them. Maybe that's wrong. With the dwarves moving down the step, or the track, I think I'm thinking, if I just completely commit to eyes, like allocating 3, roll 2 more, military is a possibility, you know. Interestingly, they did move Rohan the Fords, which kind of gets rid of a lot of their military presence, but the dwarves could be a problem. And then they roll no movement. Unlucky. Atlas does get them 1. They would have had 2 if they had Strider, so pretty average there. And yeah, I rolled 2 musters. I mean, I probably should just muster more Nazgul, honestly, but I'll put another elite in the North Rune. And yeah, if there was a turn where I roll 0 eyes, this is it, when they roll no movement. So I think the game has benefited me greatly in when I roll a lot of eyes, they roll a lot of movement. When I don't roll any eyes, they keep rolling stuff like this. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time that's happened to them, so very unlucky. So yeah, I opt to not get Nazgul, and I just keep mustering elites. I think because I see the dwarves are about to get rocking. Yeah, they did just go to war. So Erebor gets an elite. I put a regular in North Rune and then a regular in Dol Guldur because, yep, writing's on the wall now. Yep, so now that I move a Southron onto Frodo, I'm more kind of excited to allocate 2 eyes next turn if they don't move this turn, which win-win. I get a ring if they do it this turn, or I get 2 re-rolls next turn. Start moving the reinforcements to the northeast. I play a red tile with a character because, again, my hand's full. I'm actually probably waiting for them to move so I could play Nazgul Strike. They finally draw a character card. You get Smeagol Helps Nice Master, which is great. I attack Woodland Realm. Right, because I have characters, and as much as I'd love to get those other armies in the Woodland Realm, I don't have Nazgul with them, so I can't. That was probably, yeah, the reason I was waiting for Nazgul Strike to be able to use it, so I could move them to that army. I play Desperate Battle against Daylight. Roll no hits. They roll 2. And I stop. Now they burn a ring to move. They're safe, as they should be. Right, and then I burn that ring to do an army move. So, unfortunately, no rerolls next turn. But, again, if Woodland Realm breaks out of that siege, if I just can't take it, and they congregate with that Dwarven army, oh boy, that is a 2 regular, 6 elite army, and they'll probably muster more elites in Dale. So yeah, that's a big elf army, a big dwarf army, and a big north army that's going to eventually form that are all going to just slam into my strongholds. So I'd rather actually really kill one of these strongholds, preferably, if the game will allow me to. Okay, I draw Warmasar and Toil and Rage of the Dunlendings. They get Eagles Are Coming, and Power of Tom Bombadil. My opponent really does not like Shield Wall. They got rid of it. Poor Shield Wall. Yeah, I mean, Help Unlooked For is certainly... If there was a time to play, it'd probably be now, but they don't want to just abandon Erebor. So they declare, I'm sad. I allocate 2 eyes, roll no more. And they roll the roll that probably scared the shit out of them. I'm more than halfway through my strategy deck, but still no day without dawn, unfortunately. So they move. They're safe again. I play One with Sorrow and Toil here. Yeah, so I could have played Nazgul Strike, but with 3 companions, no hobbits. So I'm actually going to get full value from One with Sorrow and Toil, because they definitely want to be killing companions right now. And yeah, I'm looking at Mithril, Coat, and Sting. Smeagol helps Nice Master. Yeah, they're halfway through their character deck. I would assume they had a Golem card, or just blues in general. So they decide, I guess they really want to get in the Mordor this turn. I disagree with this move personally. I think I would start playing those character cards. At least Smeagol. There's really nothing you can do about Mithril because Nazgul Strike's still out there, and I do have it, so they're just in a shitty place regarding Mithril. But they're safe, which is not great. So, yeah, overall, despite how hurt Frodo is, I think it's just strictly due to card play. I don't think my hunt's been especially fantastic. Just the downside of going the north route, you're more predictable. So I attack Woodland Realm. Again, I really would like to kill it, preferably sometime this year. Play Relentless Assault against Confusion. I just throw 1 in. Roll no hits. And I hit myself. But then I roll 3 on the reroll. So it came around. They roll 1. Well, they roll 0, so that's good for me. I just take 1 from Confusion. Yep, so now Woodland Realm's looking a bit more tame, so even taking it's not the biggest priority right now. At least they're just kind of not going to be able to help the war effort that well. And another reason why I would prefer to have it is I can, at the very least, if they just full commit to military, I can punish them by taking their strongholds. So I'll just get a free 5 points if they abandon the Northeast, and then that changes the game. Despite how bad the combat's been up there, now at least I can focus on taking Lorien. I still have Balrog. Still have it. So Lorien's, it's free in my mind. And go for Gondor. Círdan's has been played. I don't know if I saw Emerhill go, but yeah, I could definitely go for Gondor. Still no Corsairs. I don't think I've drawn a single Deadly Strife yet, which is a little unfortunate. But I did get both of the Shadow move cards, so attack Woodland Realm again. Let's get rid of it. I play Mumakil. They play Heroic Death. Completely whiff on the Mumakil. And they get 2 hits. Yeah, the military is very cursed for me in this game. And then they muster Gondor to war as if they just read my mind. So, yeah, I painstakingly muster another freaking elite in North. What else am I going to do with the muster? Maybe more Nazgul? I don't know. And they play a blue tile. So they're risking Cruel Weather, which they should. I don't have it, though. And I play Nazgul Strike. So, yep, I roll for the hunt, and I do manage to get a hit, and I get a 3. So the odds of getting a hit on that hunt were high. I was rolling 3 dice on coin flips. No reveal, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I've only drawn 1 reveal in the hunt the entire game. That was the very first move. The other one was with Seal Doors, I believe. So yeah, but hey, I'll still take a 3. They're taking damage on Frodo at least. So Legolas bites it. They take 1 corruption, and more importantly, I get to play Warm with Sorrow and Toil. So I'm either going to take an Ent or I'm going to take Mithril. And I took Mithril. Oof. That hurts. In a game like this, that hurts. I get candles. Perfect timing. And finally, there's a strife. Just talking about you, little guy. And then they get Guahir, not helpful whatsoever, and Through a Day and a Night, which is also not helpful whatsoever, because little Pip Pip is very far away from being relevant. He's hanging out with the Eagles. So they are in Mordor. I allocate 2 eyes, as that is the maximum I can do. I roll 1 more, and then they roll a pretty standard roll. Let's look at that hump pool. Yep, 14 tiles, 3 reds. So if we're counting eyes and the reds as like being really bad, which is normally a safe bet. 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 out of 14, 4 out of 7 to get something very bad every time they move. Not great odds for free people. Again, losing Mithril, that sucked. Yep, they start by drawing, get House of the Stewards. The free people character deck is in full swing of being worthless. Again, this is very late. I usually try to do this earlier, but because look at the, I'm still at 1 point, and even that 1 point's looking pretty weak with those dwarves staring at it. I get Cruel Weather. It sucks to draw it the turn after, because Cruel Weather would have been way better than Nazgul Strike. But what can you do? They move, and they get the 3 red. So, great for me. The odds of them getting a red eventually, they're up there. I mean, it's good to see it right away. It gives me a lot of information. Lets me know what I need to do, right? So Boromir bites it. They take 1 corruption. That's another one with Sorrow and Toil. It's just going to take Guahir or House of the Stewards. Oh, no, it took the Ant. Sorry, forgot about the Ant. Perfect. Yep, and here I play Candles of Corpses because if he moves again, Gimli's probably dead. So play Candles now. I get 3 hits on Candles. Oh my god, the cards. So Corruption's now at 10. And then, yeah, they muster another elite in Erebor, and the game is officially on. This is when it gets really funny. So we know how the game is going to go now. They're in absolutely no position to just sit in Mordor and just take free corruption. They can't. They physically can't. They can only do that twice. So now, yeah, I move Mordor to protect my strongholds. Sauron is officially bitching out. Moves a leader to Erebor and a leader in Dol Amroth. And then I muster in the mouth. They attack Dale from the dwarves. They play Confusion. They roll 2 6s. I roll 2 1s. So I take 4 hits. Ouch. And I do 0 back, and then they press. Right, so I retreat in the Woodland Realm, and then I use a character to move to Old Forest Road. So, yep, I'm officially running away. This is the kind of game this is. So, Frodo is so screwed that Sauron is now retreating his troops. And I have the benefit of, because they drew the 3 and they didn't have Gollum, they are not revealed. So, they have to move next turn. And then I draw Shelob. Beautiful, beautiful. And half-orcs, which is also beautiful, because I'm definitely on the defense now. Challenge of the King, which would be very relevant if he wasn't dead. Okay, allocate 1 eye. I roll no more, so that's very good for them. Okay, they draw a character card. I'm going to punish that with Shelob. So we're right back to where we started. They draw another character card. They get a blue tile, which is good. Okay, I muster a regular into Gundabad and Dol Guldur, because that dwarf army is not small. And then I draw another character card because they pass. They pass again. I don't know if passing's a good idea. I mean, I could get Morgul Wound, Breaking. I haven't played either of those yet. The more you pass, the more chance I can just hit you with that when you move and Gimli dies. And if you draw a 3, you die. Because I'll just do 1. Play Dreadful Spells in the Dale, because why not? Get one hit. They pass again. So, I think I only rolled one muster this turn. So if they were going to go for military, this was probably the time to do it. But they opted to just keep passing. Yeah, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And I use a character. I move 3 of the guys, or 2 of the guys from Old Forest Road with a Nazgul to Nares of the Forest with a character. They play Elven Rope. I use the other character to run Old Forest Road into Karok. So they're running to Gundabad. Yeah, we are full on retreating. As I feel like we've done the whole game. Because, yeah, that's the thing. They can just start mustering elites in Dale. So they can get like a 10 elite army. Which would be pretty sick to see. And I continue my slow, sad march into Eagle's Eyrie. They burn a ring, and they move again, and they get a 3. Yep, so they get a 3. They reveal with Golem, so it doesn't actually do any damage, which is great. Now, if I had Breaking or Morgul, that wouldn't have done anything, but thankfully for them, I don't have it. And I use that last army to reinforce Dol Guldur and Gundabad. And then I remember my One More Sorrow and Toil trigger. Not sure what it took. I don't think it was relevant. But it definitely did its job. That is for certain. So I get Palantir of Orthanc, Day Without Dawn. Palantir is actually pretty good, depending on what I roll. Kind of lets me do what the Witch King would have been doing. They get Horn of Gondor, Path of the Woses. Horn of Gondor just lost its worth 2 actions ago. Okay, 1 eye. I rolled no more, so I'm not rolling eyes, which is good news for my opponent. They hide right away. I play Day Without Dawn. Yep. Take away their ability to draw more cards, because that is the win condition right now. You get Wizard Staff. Unfortunate. I muster an elite in the Gundabad. Yeah, so military is off the table now. I rolled 5 musters this turn. I mean, you can still go for it. It's all you got, but... Yep, I mustered 2 more Nazgul. I'm basically just going to keep mustering in Dol Guldur and Gundabad. Muster another elite in Dol Guldur. They pass. I play Palantir just for the next turn. I burn a ring. Yeah, I burn a ring on the muster to play Balrog on the table. That way I get a card draw as well. So it gets it out of my hand finally, and I get a card draw. So works for me. Get Nazgul Search. Does not help. They draw another card. They do get a blue tile. Can't play it, though, because they got to move. Oh, they are playing it. Never mind. All right, what were the odds of them dying? 14 tiles. Yeah, they're rightfully assuming I have Breaking or Morgul. They're just like the bottom 3 cards of my deck, unfortunately. So pretty much the entirety of the pool kills them. I think taking the free corruption sucks, but I get it. Maybe they'll draw Bilbo's next turn and they'll be in a somewhat similar spot with a blue in. Makes sense. So they play Elven Rope. Yeah, I move a Nazgul because I don't really have anything to do. I get Black Captain, New Powers Rising. Yeah, they really are the bottom 3 cards on my deck. They get there and back again, so their cards are just as bad though. I mean, they put all the blues in except Vile so far. No Bilbos. So yeah, Bilbos, there's another way. Those are their bottom 4 cards, so they're just as unlucky here. Right, and then they roll the worst thing they could have rolled, so not a single movement on 5 dice. Yeah. Did they hide last turn? I thought they didn't move or hide last turn. I guess they hid. Yeah, they probably hid. Yeah, I probably just forgot. Okay, so they're in better shape than I thought. They draw another card, Axe and Bow. Unfortunate. Yeah, they wanted there as another way there. That way they wouldn't take any free corruption. So 1 and 4 to pull it. Didn't get it. I just keep mustering. I'm not going to say every muster in Gundabad. I muster in Barad-dûr and Moria. They're just mustering on Gondor because what else are they going to do with the dice? I'm still mustering. I'm going to Elite North Inc. They do draw another character card. It's Vile. So there's another blue. I got Muster and Dale and Gondor. I play New Powers Rising. Why not? Right. So they get Bilbos. So yeah, there's another way is their last card in their deck. And I finally get Breaking. And Return of the Witch King. All these Witch King cards. I have 3 Witch King cards in my hand. That's hilarious. Okay, one eye. I do roll 2 more this time, so they do not have the luxury of having good eyes now. They play Bilbos. Alright, I already played Day Without Dawn, so they can be patient with the will. Okay, so Bilbos is played, and I will still kill them. There's the hunt pool. Yeah, it's still not looking great for him, but this is Mordor, where the shadows lie and the math lies. So we shall see what happens. Yeah, I think I was going to draw a character card there, and I'm like, I only have 2 left. I don't know. Like, I know what they are. Maybe I should have. Yeah, I probably should have drew a character card because I know at least one of those 2 cards is Morgul. That way I can hit him with Morgul and Breaking if he reveals and probably win, hopefully. I muster Rohan. I move Nazgul into Isengard. I start moving them, just straight up defending all my strongholds. Look at all my strongholds. It's a lame way to play, but what else am I going to do? I'm at 0 points. My combat rolls have all been flubs, really. It's not a possibility. Just defend and watch Frodo die is the plan. Yep, I draw a card. I do get my Morgul, so I have the perfect amount of dice to play both of them. But if they are smart, they're not going to move until the final action. Which they do. They muster in the Shire. I reinforce Orthanc. They play theirs another way. Heal 1, move, and they get a 0 reveal. Ooh, it's a game. It is a game. Alright, so they are now at 8 corruption. They have 3 more steps to take. 3 blues are in. There's another 0. So technically there's 4 blues in a way. They have the other blue. So they can make that 5 good tiles out of 14. That's good odds. I play half orcs, because why not? I draw my last character card, which is Lidless Eye. Hello, my good friend. If there's ever a card to be on the very bottom of the deck, you'd want it to be Lidless Eye. Threats and Promises makes a swift exit. Goodbye. Okay, one eye. Roll 1 more. I definitely want more eyes here. Like, that roll I just rolled is perfect in any other game, not this one. They play Vile. Yep, so I start putting hybrid dice into the thing and then I just kill it. I have nothing I want to do with them. Yep. They do pointless musters. I just muster in Mordor again. They move. Here we go. What do they get? What do they get? They get an eye. So that's pretty good for me. Granted, yeah, I'd want more damage, but 2 damage, I'll take it. And it's a reveal. So they take 2. Unfortunately, they have another character, so they can hide anyway. I play Morgul Wound. They take 1 more, so they are now at 11 corruption. They think they absolutely need to hide here because I have no character cards left. Neither of us do. So I have Breaking. Unless I discarded it, which, considering it was, turn 2, I decided this would be a corruption game. It'd be pretty dumb if I discarded it. So they hide. We do more pointless musters because it's not actually relevant. And then I move that one little regular to No Man's Lands because there he goes. He's going to go visit Dead Marshes. Turn 17. We both draw 1 strategy card and I allocate 1 eye. I roll 2 more. And they get another roll. So they got nothing left to play, nothing left to draw. So they even say no point waiting. They move. They have 2 steps to make total, so they don't have to make them this turn. That hunt pool, it's Mordor. It's not as good as it looks because I have Breaking, and I remember I saw my roll initially, and I had like a little pit spike in my stomach because I thought I didn't roll any characters or Palantirs, but I did roll one Palantir. The Java mistress blessed me this evening with one Palantir. Thank you. So, yeah, the ones are actually death because I'll just play breaking. So it's just the 0 and the 4 blues. So 5 out of 14. It's about a 1 in 3 chance to not die on this move. And they get a 2, and that's game. Yeah, a very good game. Let's pull up this statistics before I ramble. These statistics are bugging out for me. Come on, I want to see the money. There it is. You probably can't see it because it bugged out, but so I was -6 on 6s, and they were -1 on hits, which is kind of surprising. I feel like they hit on pretty much every combat except for a select few. They were -6 on characters, which made sense considering all the times they rolled 1 movement or 0 movement. I was +5 on characters, -4 on eyes. Yeah, statistics, I normally don't care about them. But in this instance, yeah, my combats were terrible. I was -2 on 5s, -6 on 6s. So with all the desperate battles I played, I was like -8 pretty much. Combat was not happening, so I did all I could, and it paid off. So there's no statistic for hunt pool draws because I think I was about as lucky as possible when it came to that. They didn't pull a blue, they didn't pull a heal. Yeah, they pulled that 1-0, but Mordor did what Mordor does. I got the red, and it was overall a good game, a unique game for sure. And again, had I just, like I said in the beginning, had I just bashed my head against the military and said, well, I have 2 attacks, I gotta get my military before they destroy the ring, it probably wouldn't have gone as well. So, but I did get lucky, for sure. I mean, just the 3 Candles of Corpses hits alone probably really changed that game. You know, they would have been 3. I mean, I was expected 1.5, so every point of health matters. And yeah, killing Mithril also really helped me out there, Warsaw and Toil. But yeah, I was basically through my entire deck. But yeah, great game. Some definitely twists and turns. Yeah, 3 regulars killing the Witch King in a decent army definitely threw me for a loop. Yeah, I think we talked about it towards the end. I think my opponent I think they said they thought they were okay to not hide in a stronghold based on the circumstances, and I'm willing to agree with them after the Witch King died. But I think with the Witch King dying, that just really just stops my military pretty much completely, and it was already stopped. So I probably would have hid in Woodland Realm for a while personally. Did what they did, muster the dwarves to war, get them to defend it. You even sacrifice Erebor, who cares? I'm at 0 points. I won this game with 0 points. But that be the game. But thank you for watching. Sorry if this was a long one, but I wanted to share it. It's kind of like a learning game for a different kind of technique, for sure. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.